Donald Trump has again set the tone for the markets. Oil opened the day in negative territory. The ruble lost all its gains when closing the session yesterday. Today it has made several attempts to edge higher. However, the news about Alexei Navalny may cool traders' enthusiasm. Oil regained ground on Tuesday, and markets hoped that it would continue rising in today's session. However, Donald Trump unexpectedly changed the course of the trend. The US president ordered to postpone the talks over the stimulus package with Democrats until after the election. This announcement came right after the speech of Fed's chair Jerome Powell. The head of the Federal Reserve made it clear that the US economy will recover at a much slower pace without the stimulus measures. Trump's decision has dampened the market sentiment. As a result, the US dollar has advanced as a safe haven asset, while the risk appetite has deteriorated sharply. As a rule, the oil market does not benefit from risk aversion in financial markets. In the early session, the energy market showed negative dynamics, yet the quotes are still holding at comfortable levels given the existing background. On Wednesday morning, Brent oil futures with the nearest expiration were trading at $42.20 per barrel, having lost 1% of their value. North American grade followed a similar trajectory. WTI crude futures for November settled at $40.10 per barrel. The rise in oil prices was also capped by weak industry data. The API reported an increase in weekly crude inventories in the US, whereas analysts had predicted a drop in the stockpiles. Today, market participants are waiting for the official data from the US Energy Information Administration. If the report confirms the growth in oil inventories, crude prices will come under more pressure. On the other hand, the energy market gained support from the ongoing strike of oil workers in Norway. Besides, Hurricane Delta has become stronger and is now approaching the Gulf of Mexico. In light of all these factors, Brent is likely to slide to $41 per barrel or even lower. Yesterday, traders expected Brent to reach the level of $44. Obviously, this is impossible at the moment. As for the Russian ruble, it has also suffered losses after Donald Trump's speech. On Tuesday, the ruble began to appreciate against the US dollar, but its uptrend was interrupted. Another factor to weigh on the ruble is the announcement of the Organization for the Prohibition of Chemical Weapons. According to it, blood samples taken from Alexei Navalny confirmed the presence of toxic chemicals belonging to the Novichok group. In the coming days, the topic of Navalny's poisoning will be in close focus in Europe, and this means that investors may prefer to avoid Russian assets for the fear of new sanctions. However, markets hope that the new sanctions will be less severe and will not affect the Nord Stream 2 pipeline between Russia and Germany. In addition, the sanction risk is usually taken into account regarding the ruble's quotes. On Wednesday, the Russian currency is moving higher and is very likely to reach the level of 76.40 against the US dollar in the short term. Today, the Bank of Russia will increase the volume of its currency interventions by about 2.5 times, and this should also contribute to the ruble's positive dynamics. That's all for now. Thanks for watching and stay tuned.